Okay, I am back again, as always. Again, this has been a really hard one to film because I've been using the bandsaw for most of it, and also gluing a lot. So I've been going outside, but I have made some progress. This is Godzilla as it stands. This will be painted black at some point, but I'm going to put the scales on before I do anything else. Um, and it'll look more like Godzilla and less like a polar bear or Barney or whatever this thing looks like now. I did put the mouth on. Again, I'm not 100% sure. It looks great, but it'll look good enough. So I am going to use this stuff. I think it's called backer bar or something like that. I have a big roll of it left over from when I had the shop with BJ. He had it for something. He never used it, so I started using it. I used it on Alien versus Musical uh, to make all the ribs and details on the alien. So I'm going to do the same thing on Godzilla here. So let me show you what I do. All my copious notes. Let me get this in a spot where I can actually see. Boy, it does not. I gotta tighten this fitting at some point. Just 1 second. We're gonna go black. Just 1 second here. Still here. Still here. There we go. Okay. The weight of the cord was causing problems here. Okay. So what I do, and I probably need a new knife, is actually I'm going to get a new knife. For the vast majority of this stuff, I make them half rounds. So what I've done to find what I found that works really well for this is to put the knife in and then just drag you kind of stick it into the table and then you just drag the foam. And they don't have to be perfect, but I've got two pieces that are about the same size. And so then what I do is I build it up. I start building up the different pieces, layers of these things. And I'm going to try actually putting, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to glue each piece on, but I'm cutting these things into little wedges, and I'm going to put them on there as over and over again to make different shaped scales on here. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to put a big thing of glue on there and then put some of these on and then add some more glue and then put some more on until it makes this big textured look. And any place that I want it to stay really flat, I'll leave it open. And I'm going to go in with the wood burner and cut grooves into the foam to do that. But first, I'm going to build up some of these areas because they're awfully flat. And like I said, it looks a lot like a slee stack or a polar bear or something. But I'm going to make it look less so. The other thing I've been thinking about doing, though, because these whatchamacallit, these tile pieces come with this puzzle piece. I've been thinking a lot about gluing these on here just as is to give some of the spines, and it'll still have the texture part on one side, but nobody's going to see it. So I think I am going to do that to cover these seams up, and then fill in some of the other gaps with the foam. Hi, Adam. How's it going? All right, so I guess I'll get at it. And these things do not look anything like each other, but I just want to make sure Let me see if I can get a couple that are similar. One thing about these things is there are no two that seem the same. Nice, some are shorter and everything. Well, maybe I'll hold off doing that until I get the other stuff on. Maybe I'll come up with a better idea. Going great. I finished torso for my puppet. Fantastic. Now, are you using a pattern or are you starting from scratch? I'm going to start building this up, I think is what I'm going to start doing. And I'm just cutting these in little wedges so I have a stockpile of different shaped wedges I can use. No idea if this is going to work, but when does that stop me? Oh, hi Chase. You should have your package sometime today. I've been tracking it. There's a bunch of those. We'll make some more. Because I'm going to go through a lot of these. Oh, cool. You're using a modified pattern for the head. What? Which head are you using? Which pattern? Is it one of Adam's? I'm gonna try. Okay, I also think that there's. I wish I had a color picture. I need to do something for his nostrils here too. Yeah. Okay. So I found that by kind of folding these things, you can make really cool nostrils. So that's how I'm going to do this. Hopefully make two that are different or mirrors of each other. Okay. All right, I'm going to start gluing these guys on. That's cool. I don't think I've kind of done something like that, but I've only bought a few patterns over the years. Um, I got to figure out how I'm gonna mount this so that you guys can see what I'm doing. This thing is so unwieldy. I'm also gonna get Zoidberg and Terry out of here because I don't want to get glue on them. Oh, these are going to be his eyes. This Christmas ornament. I have to paint them for the back. Okay, let's see. Looks like Barney. Adam asked what pattern what I'm working on right now. I'm working on building a Godzilla costume for a concert that a friend of mine is doing. I don't know too much of it other than that. Okay. Basically, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to lather a bunch of this on its nose. I'm putting some on this foam too. I'm trying to do as much of this in gray as I can, although this is going to be a problem, so I may have to actually paint it after all. I can probably get a little bit better shot. Let me see. Uh-oh. Well, I just ruined another shirt. Okay. So I think all right. Those might be too big. I'm just making little slivers of all these things without trying not to cut myself. Okay. Okay, here goes nothing here. Now, I'm not going to do every surface in this stuff. I just want to build up certain areas. Well, probably, that might be a way to do it. And I didn't let that set long enough, so that's probably going to come off. Eventually, this will all form kind of a texture. Or it'll be so bad that I'll just rip it right off. Well, that's not really the right shape. Yeah. I do have gloves, so I should be wearing them. Oh, boy, I cannot find a piece that fits. There we go. There's one. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look decent. This is going to be on stage for like 3 minutes.
And it doesn't really matter if you got too sloppy with this stuff, at least I found. Nobody really seems to notice. Except other puppeteers. Those are almost even. Okay. I'm going to make those around the eye there. Little pieces. Yeah, that's a lot. And you can shape these things after they're glued on too, which is nice. And the different angles that you cut these things at, the different shapes that you'll get, and you just want them to look good. Is basically the gist of it. And this flat part, I'll probably just draw in with a wood burner at some point. Think when we were doing Alien versus Musical, oops, I did that one back. When we were doing Alien versus Musical, that really messed this one up. We were finding these things all over the stage after each performance. In fact, we had a little plastic bag that one of the set people would keep full of these little pieces, and they'd have me glue them on at the beginning of each show. So any that fell off, it's kind of funny. So I'm starting to get this stuff stuck to my fingers now. Because I should have put my gloves on. What was I thinking? I was so excited to share this with you. I forgot to put my gloves on. I love how there's like twice as many on one side as there are on the other. But I don't care. Okay, so I want to show you something else that I'm doing. Let me take this off.
think I'm done gluing for the moment. I'm going to put the fan on though. I got to make sure these things aren't stuck to my back. Okay, so one of the things I want to do is I want to do some thin wedges. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to actually wrap these on like so. And I think that'll work pretty well. I guess it doesn't really matter which way. So much for this.
One thing about this, with it being organic or implied organic, is that the scales don't have to match. They're just kind of implied. And you can always trim them if they're, like, you have one that's super big or something. It's more about just getting it done. Ah, they're all stuck to my hands. Well, that one's dead. You can see how that's starting to make that look better. But anyway,
I think I'm gonna move outside and do this because I'm gonna have a lot more gluing to do. But basically, I'm gonna. Well, actually, I'll do one more piece. I want to put lips all the way around this thing. So with this, I want to actually just. Oh, I didn't do it long enough. I'm basically gonna put like this lip all the way around, maybe like so. No, I'll put one lip up here and then the other. But then I'm gonna put little notches in it to make it look like what I did here. So, but anyway, that's kind of that. I was gonna put the lips on, but I didn't cut one that was long enough.
so that one's left over. Oh. One thing about using the hair dryer is you don't want to blow these things all over the room. All right, so now you're starting to see a little bit of it coming together. Apparently, there's also flat ones that they do, so I may do some flat ones that kind of cover some of these seams. I think that'll probably be the next thing I do after I do these lips. Um, but also, I should probably run these down all the way down the side here to cover these seams, and then just put notches in it when I get done. Let me make another one of those. You'd be surprised how much of this stuff I used on Alien versus Musical. I every possible thing I could, I would cover in this stuff because it was. I didn't have to paint it. It was super easy to work with. Doing a bang up job here. I could probably use hot glue as well on some of this. I was going to use those puzzle pieces for this, but I think it'd be a little too obvious what it was. Still not long enough. That's always scary when I drop a herd. When I drop a knife. Ooh. Well, that was a lot. Again, it doesn't really matter. Okay. You can kind of see what I'm doing with this. I'm just basically not covering every bit of it, but I'm just trying to do the high points. So that way there's a little bit of texture to it. And then you'll be able to see more of it because I'm going to shoot everything black. And then I will go over it with a dry brush and acrylic and with a lighter gray green. It'll make the high points pop out. And then for the teeth, I ordered some of those jack-o'-lantern teeth. I don't know if you've seen those plastic jack-o'-lantern teeth. And I'm going to stick those into the mouth. I don't really do that whole thing. Okay, so now what I can do is I can actually go in here with a razor and I can cut little notches out of this to make it kind of start to look more like everything else. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. Just making sure they're, you know, they look decent. It's a little bit faster than gluing them on one at a time. In fact, there might be some areas on this back where I do it, like do several layers of it, and then go back and just notch in a bunch of these pieces. And these pieces I'm pulling off of here may end up somewhere else on this thing. You can see why I use this on the alien. It's gonna look like H.R. Geiger's Godzilla, I think. Okay, you can kind of see what I'm doing with that. I think I'll put a couple more going down this way. But that certainly finishes off that look, that edge a little bit better. And this doesn't have to be real. I'm going to do the same thing on the lip at some point. That's my plan for the lip.
All right. Well, hopefully that was interesting. I got a lot more work to do, but you can kind of see how it's starting to look less like a polar bear or Barney and more like Godzilla. Once the teeth are in, the eyes are in, it'll look, and the spines, it'll look even more. And I only have what, 75% of his body to still finish by Tuesday. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I may start cutting corners even more on the next batch. But thank you for spending time here. Again, those Zoidberg and Terry are up on eBay if you want to look them up and put in a bid. That would be great. I will see you guys later.